Okay. Thank you guys so much for hopping on our Monday night team call. I always like to keep these short. Like we're all busy. It's night. It's Monday night, so I kind of like to get to the point and be done. But still, I really appreciate you guys hopping on and taking that time to just to kind of come together. I think next week we are going to do like a working call, so we'll all kind of work together. So I think that's what we're going to do next week. So key dates, yes. I was going to say, did I hit record? Key dates and activities. The 2-week fall back to fitness group is underway right now. You can still invite to it. I mean, don't feel like as if you're done at this point. So you can totally still. Okay. You can. I was making sure you were muted. There we go. It's underway. You can still invite to it. So after talking to Benika, we are going to run these kind of more at the beginning of the month for the sole purpose. This is kind of going to be the replacement of our free groups. So we likely won't do free groups anymore. Very rare would we do that at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and I'm going to have to pull out my calendar. Say in October, we would run our 30-day group October 14th, or you would kind of use that as a date in the back of your mind. And then you would promote to that at the beginning of the month, like October 1st, or really kind of towards the end of September until about the 6th or 7th. And then towards the end of the month is whenever you should promote the 2-week free trial groups, and we'll run those, and that be your best group every single month. And so how she used, and I can kind of put it in that group if y'all want, how Benika worded it was considered like a flash sale. So the 2-week free trial, $39, you get all of this stuff and the group for like 75% off, because you are getting, I'll have to pull up the wording, because you are getting so much and you're getting the 2-week free trial. So that would kind of be for people that did not show interest in your challenge groups or couldn't afford it, then you would knock them down to that group. The new workout program, 6 weeks of hard work. Early release will be September 30th. There will be a preview to be announced. Continue using and promoting Morning Meltdown though, because the work is going to be like for a select group of people. So like if you're like me, I've worked out for years, I love kind of more harder workouts, then that might be who I would appeal to. But the majority of my people are going to still appeal more to Morning Meltdown. And I really enjoy Morning Meltdown because you can determine the workout calendar. And I think that's so important. So making sure that you are, if you feel like as if your people would love the work, then of course start talking about it, as well as yourself if that's something you want to do. Then it's coming out September 30th for early release. But still continue, because I am seeing where there's before and after, or before and current photos already popping up for Morning Meltdown. Still spread that. I mean, it's such a good workout program. I really enjoyed it. So Emerald training will be held September 16th, so next Monday, within Fierce Renegade. One thing that I started thinking about that overwhelmed me was having a ton of Facebook group pages. Drives me nuts. And then I forget to post places. So I thought that we would just hold the Emerald training within Fierce Renegade. It will drum up engagement in that group. might get other people participating that might not would have even commented to be a part of an Emerald training group. And it's just already our community. So I thought it would be really, really good. So I kind of looked at some material for that today, and I'm super excited. As well as Pumpkin Shakeology is still available to purchase. It is still hotter than Hades in Nashville, Tennessee. So you can still talk about Pumpkin Shakeology because it is not even fall yet. So make sure you're still talking about that. Just because it's already released doesn't mean it's like dead and gone. So it's still there. I know there was talk that it was gone, and it is not. So that's kind of a look ahead of what we're going to be doing, as well as what corporate has for us as far as workouts. And I always have to move this. So today we're going to talk about mindset. And I feel like that we've came out of this really rough and weird time in our business, and a lot of faith was shaken, and we're now in a really good place. But as I talk to people, especially new coaches, I always hear people starting to doubt themselves, especially whenever they're told no, or when people don't respond, and then you get upset, and then it's like, I don't think this is for me. I don't, I'm not going to do anything. And kind of like what I had said on another call, I was reading in Brene Brown's book where she was talking about, instead of using the word disconnect, we talk about loneliness. And that was one thing that I really felt that we had kind of all became, was that we all felt like we were letting ourselves down or letting down the team. And so we branched off and was just lonely instead of connecting to the team. And I don't want us to ever get in that function again, because it's really not a function. So I want to start out with this quote by Michael Jordan. I'm not usually one to do sports quotes. It was just one that I really liked. The game has its ups and downs, but you can never lose focus of your individual goals, and you can't let yourself be beat because of lack of effort, by Michael Jordan. And we're told no, and people won't respond, and people don't want to be a part of it because it's an MLM. And I swear this business can have ups and downs throughout a year, throughout a quarter, or really throughout a day. I mean, we can think that we are on top of the world, and then we'll get this crazy message and it will make us plummet. Or we'll make this really good post and we won't get any type of support. And I remember sitting down, I guess it was about a year or two ago. Ken's cousin owns a few restaurants in Nashville. And he was like, so how's business? And I was like, it's just not doing great. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I feel like we're starting to kind of slow down. And he was like, Jacqueline, that's what business is about. Business has its ups and downs, and you have to determine if you want to stay and if you want to be a part of it. And if how I kind of keep myself grounded in my thoughts is, would I still go to my restaurant and eat there even if I didn't own it? And he said, if the answer is yes, then I'm where I'm supposed to be. If the answer is no, then it's not. And so for me, I would do these products no matter what, if I sold them or not. So I know that I am a lifer. I know that I'm going to be here full time. I know that I am going to do whatever it takes to build this business back up. And so I hope that everyone kind of has that mindset, especially as we're going through this year and next year probably of regrowth. So, and we are so hard on ourselves. I mean, we really are. I always say that, I was trying to move this. I always say that this business is super, super easy but it is so hard mentally. Like, it's so simple, but we can freak ourselves out in every type of way to where we just stop before we even can get started almost. So I'm going to give you 3 ways to shift your mindset. Why are you doing this? And I will tell you, the very beginning, I was about a year and a half in, and I remember I was getting McDonald's. I guess it was on my lunch break, and someone from corporate called, and they were like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, my business is not growing. I'm making hardly any money. I don't know what to do. And so he said to really work on your why. Why are you doing this? And so that night I sat down, and how he told me to do it was to write out a goal. And it would probably be like a materialistic goal. So you write out that goal, and then you ask yourself why underneath it. And then you ask yourself why to that, and why and why and why, until you get down to a very nitty gritty feeling. And for me, it started out that I wanted to quit my job. And so I asked myself why over and over and over again, until I got down to, I did not want to feel like I could not afford to support myself. This was always kind of a thing in the back of my mind, that this was going to happen. And so I wanted to always be able to fully support myself and my children no matter what. And on the hard days, that's what kept me going. The goals that I had all over my computer, it kept me focused, but what kept me going and what continues to keep me going are my kids, and that I damn sure don't want to go get another job. So I am going to show up, and I'm going to work every single day to make sure that that does not happen, and that I don't have to ask for support from anyone else in my family for money or to watch the kids. And then go back and think to what made you initially decide that you wanted to sign up. A lot of us forget that. Like, we go, oh my gosh, I want to be in the best shape for my kids. And then we mess up our workout program, and we're like, I don't think it was that big of a deal anyways. Or it can be, I want to quit my job and go full time into this. And we don't see success as quickly as possible, as quickly as we want. And we go, this just wasn't for me. And so we start giving up on our dreams and why we signed up. So go back and think about the day that you signed up, the day that you said yes, why and what made you so excited. And I want you to write that down, and I want you to put it on your computer. I see dust on mine. I want you to put it on your computer. I want you to put it on your screensaver on your phone, whatever you have to do. But stay focused to that, because that's what's going to hold your feet to the fire even when you're told no. Personal development, and not just personal development, but applying at least one takeaway. So I am huge on reading. I know some people love audios, they love e-readers. At one point, I had books galore until I started like cleaning them out. And I am huge on personal development. I am not the person I was when I signed up in 2011. I would like to say that I have grown quite a bit. And it is solely from reading personal development and starting one, and as soon as I'm done, starting another one. And I know this year I have been uber bad. But it doesn't have to be a business book. It can be, like, at one point, I was reading stuff that really fueled my soul. That's what I needed. I needed stuff about codependency. I needed stuff about loving myself. I read about separation. I read about divorce. That's all things that help me and help me be a better person. And that way it can help me be a better coach. And that way I can pass on information or things that I've learned. So it does not, like right now I'm reading Daring to Lead by Brene Brown. And I am so bad with business personal development books to where I'm only reading like a page a day. So I know I'm going to have to go back and find those books that fuel my soul instead of books that just bore the living daylights out of me. So find a good book. And then every single day. So for me, I read a chapter a day. That's all I can concentrate on. And then I'll take one takeaway from that and apply it within my life. So make sure, and that goes for team trainings as well. Just take one thing away. On the wake-up calls, take one thing away and start applying it in your life immediately. Start applying it in your business immediately. So pick a book, pick a training, and start doing that today as well. It helps your mind so much whenever you're constantly reading or listening to positive affirmations of how to be a better person. The last one is retraining your brain. And when I went through Codependency Anonymous and started the steps, and I'll backtrack and share probably a little bit more than what I should. So I have a biological dad that signed his rights over, and my dad that my mom is married to adopted me when I was 5. And so when I started going through I never spoke to him since. And so when I started going through Codependency Anonymous, I would get to step 9 and I would flounder every time. Like, I think I did step 9 3 times this summer, and I would never feel better. And I would still feel this crazy feeling in my body and in my mind. I would still have this void in my life. And I remember reading, I don't remember which codependency book I was reading, but she said there will be times where you're not going to be able to get that satisfaction. And I remembered thinking that I was really struggling in relationships. And I very rarely share like my personal life, but I was really struggling with relationships. And so then I narrowed it down to, I really struggled with not feeling good enough as a person, that my own dad did not ever try and speak to me, and that I didn't feel like I was enough to even be spoken to or be claimed as a daughter. And so in the book, in the codependency book, she talked about finding gratitude in every single thing. And so when I finally addressed that issue of my real dad, which he's passed away, so I couldn't even speak to him, I became grateful that I had a person that actually chose to be my father, and that chose to love me every single day since I was 5 years old. And when I started focusing more on that than why was I not good enough that my own father would not speak to me, then I started working through my step 9 fairly easily. And I started feeling 10 times better about myself. But it was just that small shift. It was addressing the issue, but then also that small shift. So no matter what you're going through in life, or no matter if you're having a hard day or whatever the case may be, then finding and then writing down 3 positives in your day. So maybe you were told no, but maybe you just took the time to actually invite and you were scared to death to do it. Or maybe you had someone that reached out to you and said, thank you for sharing your story. That would be a positive. So finding those good parts in your life and in your day, and that way, whenever you do have negative aspects pop up, you're quicker to go through it instead of just drowning in sorrow and anger or anything like that, because we all have those irritating moments in life that we just want to quit, whether it be, a mom, a wife, whatever the case may be, a business owner, and life is just tough. And so this business is tough, but it's not supposed to be draining or hard on yourself mentally. And so try to find 3 positives, and even if you share those, like that would be a great, having that attitude of gratitude, which I was always like, yeah, okay, whatever. Whenever, I think it was Lisa. Lisa has always said have an attitude of gratitude. And I was like, oh, whatever you say, until I started going through Codependency Anonymous. And it really, really helped me find ways, even in negative moments, to be grateful and be positive in those moments. So I think that's all that I have. Does anyone have any questions? I felt like that was a little deep. Monday night. So I hope it helped. Does anyone have any questions at all? All right. I'm going to